Something monumental is unfolding, and U.S. dominance is hanging in the balance. While most of the country is preoccupied with the upcoming election just 23 days away, a seismic shift in the global order is happening right before our eyes. Washington, D.C. is scrambling to maintain its grip on power. There's a global conflict brewing quietly, one they don't want you to notice. This is as serious as it gets for world power, the U.S. dollar supremacy, and the failure of the Biden administration. We must pay close attention to these developments. There are significant events taking place that will have profound implications for Western powers. I'm about to show you something disturbing that NATO just did, and yet no mainstream media outlet is covering it. It's concerning, to say the least. First, let's focus on Russia. In just 9 days, an unprecedented global showdown is about to take place, a titanic struggle between NATO and the BRICS nations. The timing is deliberate, positioned just before the U.S. election as a clear message from Putin and China that America's era of dominance is coming to a close. This clash will officially begin at the highly anticipated BRICS summit in Kazan, Russia, on October 22nd. While mainstream media may be busy pushing distractions, we're here to break down what's really at stake: a global battle over resources, the unraveling of the U.S. dollar's dominance, NATO's desperate attempts to hold on, and the potential for a massive shift in global power dynamics. You might wonder, why all the fuss about this summit? Well, it's not just any summit. This is the modern-day equivalent of the Bretton Woods Conference after World War II, which cemented the U.S. dollar's status as the world's reserve currency. The BRICS summit represents the end of the Bretton Woods era and the decline of U.S. dollar dominance. As Donald Trump put it, this will be worse than losing a war.
Our country's going to hell, and we're not going to be the big bar. We have power, but it's waning. In fact, it's waning in terms of our currency. And I'm not just talking about the value of our currency. I'm talking about our currency being used throughout the world.
You want it to remain. You want the dollar to remain the world's reserve currency.
Well, I think it's bigger than losing any war.
And Trump is right. Under President Biden and Kamala Harris, the BRICS nations have significantly expanded in both size and influence. On October 22nd, the BRICS bloc, which includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, will officially grow to include Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the UAE. Together, these countries now account for a staggering 35.6% of global GDP by purchasing power and 45% of the world's population. At the same time Iran is joining BRICS, certain hawks in Washington, D.C. are pushing for war with Iran to support Israel.
I've been saying for 6 months now, hit Iran. They have oil fields out in the open. They have the Revolutionary Guard headquarters you can see from space. Blow it off the map.
You see how this is all coming together, Russia and China backing Iran. How do you think this will play out? This alliance is now a formidable counterbalance to Western economic and geopolitical dominance. There's strength in numbers, but where does the real power lie? It comes from resources, and that's precisely what this conference is about. Putin is now targeting resource-rich regions around the globe, from the lithium plains of South America to uranium fields in Africa, and of course, the vital oil and gas reserves. Energy resources are at the core of this brewing conflict, yet no one is really talking about it. The U.S. is set to double its electricity usage due to the rise of AI, and here's the catch. Nearly all of our uranium, especially enriched uranium, comes from Russia. What happens if Putin decides to cut us off? Game over. As you know, the scramble for lithium, copper, and other critical minerals is what's driving this covert global war. Now, imagine if the BRICS nations corner these markets. Western supply chains, especially in tech and renewable energy, could face catastrophic disruptions. Even Senator Lindsey Graham admitted that the reason we're involved in Ukraine is because of all the valuable minerals there.
They're sitting on $1 trillion worth of minerals that could be good to our economy. So I want to keep helping our friends in Ukraine. We can win this. They need our help.
That's right. We're essentially taking their minerals. The U.S. and its NATO allies may soon find themselves scrambling to secure lesser alternatives as the global energy balance shifts toward BRICS. And now we have confirmation that Hurricane Helen, which hit western North Carolina, struck an area rich in lithium deposits, lithium that the U.S. government desperately needs. It was right beneath their feet. It's quite curious that a hurricane hit exactly in that location, giving the U.S. government the perfect opportunity for a potential land grab in western North Carolina. But resources are just one part of the story. Let's talk about currency. With the BRICS summit only days away, there's growing speculation that they are preparing to launch a new gold-backed currency. The goal of this new currency? To replace the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. As economist and gold expert Peter Schiff pointed out, this is largely a result of the Biden administration's severe sanctions on Russia, which pushed them to take this bold step.
Peter, how about it? I don't see anything good of the BRICS nations coming together and strategizing, as they say, to pretty much take over the world and screw over the West, which is us. Yeah. I'm a little concerned. Well, shouldn't we be worried?
Oh, we should be. First of all, they supply us with a lot of goods, but they also have loaned us a lot of money. The United States really depends on the dollar as the reserve currency. But what we did with those sanctions, we gave the world a powerful reason not to want to be a part of that system anymore.
Schiff is absolutely right. We're feeling these massive effects right here on American soil. The impact of these global shifts is unmistakable. For example, we're seeing a surge in core producer price inflation this week, as reported by Zero. Even as energy prices temporarily dip, food and services costs continue to rise, and Americans are feeling the pinch. Whether it's at the gas pump, the grocery store, or with heating bills, the pressure is mounting. How many of you have seen your grocery bills double lately? Let me know below. Americans are fed up. I'm fed up. To fully grasp the scale of what's happening, you need to understand how these globalist policies have eroded our domestic economy. We've outsourced critical minerals and industries due to liberal policies, weakening the competitive edge of American workers across the globe. We've offshored almost everything. President Trump called this out. He warned that we must stop globalization, and he was right.
If you want freedom, take pride in your country. Wise leaders always put the good of their own people and their own country first. The future does not belong to globalists.
Maybe that's why they tried to assassinate him, because he wants to stop the globalist agenda. The deep state and military seem eager for war with these countries to preserve U.S. dollar dominance. Trump, on the other hand, wants to rebuild America's manufacturing and strengthen our infrastructure at home. As the BRICS summit approaches, NATO is flexing its muscles. This week, they did something that went largely unnoticed due to the twin hurricanes hitting the U.S. Yes, NATO is conducting nuclear preparedness drills, getting ready for a potential nuclear war with Russia. But don't worry, they say, they're not using live warheads. Still, they're planning for nuclear conflict, running tabletop exercises on how to deploy troops across Europe to invade Russia, and discussing responses to a nuclear war. This is the reality we're living in right now. The world is changing right before our eyes, and Trump might be our only hope to stop this madness. That wraps up the news update for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, and thanks for watching.